Are you worried about student loan scams targeting your child? If so, you are not alone, and unfortunately, you are not making things up in your head. This is a very valid concern these days. With nearly $2 trillion in student loans existing today, there's a lot of opportunity, unfortunately, for these scammers. So if your student is heading off to college, or maybe they're already there, they've borrowed some money, or maybe they've even graduated, maybe you are following us from years ago. No matter what it is, if you're even thinking of touching student debt, this is important to know. From fake forgiveness offers to federal student loan scams, we want to make sure that we prepare you and your family to avoid these. And so today I am breaking down how to spot student loan scams so that you and your child can keep your finances safe. Now make sure you hit subscribe because every week we have a new strategy for your family to work towards a debt-free education. So we want to avoid the student loans, but still I need to make sure that you all are prepared for anything around student loans as well. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System, where we help families overwhelmed with the cost of college secure scholarships so that they can avoid student loan debt. Now we've helped families get over $15 million to date and growing every single day. So that's our bread and butter. But still, beyond scholarships, there are so many different pieces to the paying for college puzzle. Student loans is one of those. Now, just a quick note, this is for U.S. citizens and permanent residents. We're not familiar with loans for international students. So why are student loan scams so common? Again, with the cost of college skyrocketing and millions of students and families relying on student debt to pay for that bill, we've surpassed $1.7 trillion in student loan debt in the US. So as you could imagine, a lot of people, a lot of opportunity. They prey on the confusion, the stress, the urgency of paying these off quickly. Whether it's promising instant forgiveness or quick fixes, their goal is to trick you or your student into giving money away or even sensitive information. Let's go through some of the most common scams that are targeting students and their families. First is loan forgiveness scams. So these scammers often promise immediate loan forgiveness or cancellation, often for a fee. As you could imagine, they might claim to be part of a government program that can wipe debt out quickly. Typically, I will say if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But the reality is that there are legitimate forgiveness programs, although in 2025, things are changing a lot. So I'd say that it's easier than ever for these scammers to capitalize on this because there is a lot of confusion with the actual government and their loan forgiveness. But that said, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness, PSLF program, that is a legitimate one, and it is free to apply to and requires years of qualifying payments. So there really is no such thing as just erasing the loans if they're promising that. And I should note, especially for a fee. Second are debt relief scams. So this is where they may promise to reduce monthly payment amounts or consolidate the loans up front. They might say, oh, we'll handle all the communication with your loan servicer for you. But in reality, loan consolidation, it is actually a free process that you can do yourselves through a studentaid.gov, a .gov website. Now, I do want to say that we have friends at Student Loan Planner, for example, Travis Hornsby, the founder, that are absolutely genius with navigating these loan forgiveness programs that the government legitimately exists, and they do pay a consulting fee because they are drastically reducing the amount families end up paying over the time of a loan. However, it's still not saying it's just going to be erased, and they're definitely not just charging a fee, and they definitely do require work and effort and payments, etc. So if you are looking into a service, I do recommend Student Loan Planner. You can check out the link in the description to learn more there. Now, a third one could be fake scholarship scams. So some scammers claim that maybe your student has won a scholarship but must pay a processing or application fee to receive it. This is absolutely not legitimate. And also if they charge a fee to apply to the scholarship. Of course, this is different than paying for the scholarship system's course where it's teaching skill sets to apply. but an actual application itself asking for a fee is also a red flag. So we want to make sure that legitimate scholarships, that's what we're focusing on. And if they are asking for student's identification number, student ID, anything like that, we want to make sure it's a legitimate one that we actually applied to. And it should never be social security number, for example. I do have an entire webinar all about scholarships, where to find legitimate ones with less competition and how to spot those scams. So you can go to the scholarshipsystem.com/free webinar. You can see the link here. You can also find it down in the description. You can also click this video and open that in a separate tab, and you can attend that training after this video. The fourth one's phishing scam. So this is emails or phone calls that appear to be from a loan servicing officer demanding payment or personal information. It's actually really funny. I have received some emails or phone calls myself about my student loan debt, and it's just kind of hilarious because I am literally, my career is discussing how to avoid it because I've never borrowed a penny in my life. And it's just funny to me when I get those. But that said, I could see where they look legitimate. If I didn't know that I've never borrowed a penny, I could see where someone would fall for those. And so this will often have urgent language like your account will be suspended or this will be reported or scary things like that. And instead, we want to look at our actual statements, the companies that are associated with them, and contact those companies. We don't want to just respond to a random email. The fifth one is loan discharge scams. So this might claim that the loans can be discharged or settled by lawsuit or settlement. And in reality, loan discharge, it's rare, and it generally applies only in cases of total disability or school closure. It's very, very rare. So again, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It should definitely raise a red flag. So again, just some general red flags to watch out for. Upfront fees. So if they're asking for some kind of payment before providing any kind of help, it's almost always a scam. Again, this is different than the company I mentioned earlier, Student Loan Hero, where they charge for consulting. But if it's a fee for the actual service of doing it and you don't know it's from a trusted site, then that is not legitimate. Guaranteed forgiveness. Nobody can promise total forgiveness or cancellation, especially overnight. Again, programs like the government one, PSLF, that requires years of qualifying payments. It is not something that's quick. High pressure tactics. Anytime they're using fear or urgency, you have to do this now or you'll miss out. That's a red flag. Requests for personal information, social security number, FSA ID, bank account numbers. These we do not want to share. And then lastly would be anything coming from non-government email addresses or if from a private loan officer or a private loan company, if it's not coming directly from them, we want to be very careful. And again, they have gotten really tricky. I've almost fallen for some of these, and I've been in the .com age forever. So they're getting good at these. So we do need to really be careful before we're sending information, especially through emails. So how can we protect ourselves from these? Of course, you want to educate your student and make sure that they're aware of these scams. Make sure they understand the importance of not sending personal information unless they know it's a legitimate source. If it sounds too good to be true, make sure they know that it probably is. There's no such thing as a free ride without work, right? In the scholarship system, we're teaching how to get a free ride by doing the work of scholarships. But if it's just push a button and we have a free ride, or just push a button and you get your loans, or just push a button and the loans are forgiven, that's not good. Second is to verify loan information through your official channels. Again, through those loan statements, anything we're receiving in the mail, or through our actual portal that we log on. Make sure we're getting it from the direct source itself. You can also always check your student's loan status through the government at studentaid.gov. Third is, again, never share sensitive information. We talked about IDs, social security numbers, banking details through phone or email. Fourth is to avoid paying for fees or consolidation when it is technically free, unless you're consulting with Student Loan Hero. And again, I'm not associated with them. They're just the only people that I trust. The fifth one is monitoring your accounts regularly. We've actually seen from Student Loan Hero, they recently shared a story where balances changed out of nowhere. That is not good. So it is important that we're monitoring anyway, but we also want to monitor our accounts to make sure no one unauthorized is accessing them or making changes. And then lastly is to report any suspicious activity. So if you think you've encountered a scam, make sure you report it to the Federal Trade Commission at studentaid.gov. And lastly, if you are not sure where to even get loans, if you're looking for legitimate lenders and companies that you can borrow from, then go to the scholarshipsystem.com/refinance. We share a list of some of our preferred vendors and ones that we have personally vetted. So let me know in the comments, has your student been scammed before? Have you seen scams? Did I miss one? If so, let me know in the comments, and that way anyone else watching this video can benefit as well and make sure that they do not get sucked into those scams. But that said, scammers are more sophisticated than ever. They know, they have the right knowledge. If they know the right information about your family, they know how to make it sound legitimate. So we have to be more cautious than ever. Again, any of these red flags, any of these warning signs, we want to make sure that we report them and avoid them. Now make sure you hit subscribe because we want to try to avoid these loans in the first place, but I hope that you found this helpful. If so, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in next week's video.